Paula.
So hello and good afternoon to all the viewers. And today we have come up with our unconventional career options for optometrists. This is the third part of our series. And we have three young and vibrant optometrists joining us from different parts of India. So today I have the pleasure of introducing everybody. So I'll start with Mr. Asit. Asit Kumar is currently the program officer at Mission for Vision. An optometrist by profession, he has over 11 years of experience in eye health sector. Welcome, Asit.
Thank you.
Then we have Ms. Jissa. Jissa is the knowledge manager at International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness. We know it as IPB. She holds a bachelor's degree in optometry with additional certifications in writing the sciences from Stanford University and global blindness, planning and managing eye care services from London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, both as online. And Jissa has over 12 years of experience. Welcome, Jissa. And then we have Chandrasekhar. Chandrasekhar is currently the zonal coordinator for South Sightsavers India, a public health professional. Chandrasekhar is a postgraduate in public health from the University of Hyderabad and holds an integrated master's degree in optometry and vision science. He is also currently pursuing PhD in public health from BITS Pilani, Hyderabad. Welcome, Chandrasekhar.
Thank you, Paula.
And now over to Nilesh sir to moderate the session.
Thank you, Paula. ये तो cheating है. बहुत बड़ी cheating है. मतलब young and vibrant बोल के तीनों का introduction कर दिया और eventually Nilesh sir भी है, by the way, not so young, not so vibrant. तो ठीक है. Just hand it over to him and let him continue. It's okay. इसका बदला ले लिया जाएगा.
Not about numbers, sir.
So welcome, guys. I'm sure you must be looking forward to this session. I mean, OCI is doing some great activities for members and students and practitioners. I think these couple of series are the series I look forward to. One is Unsung Heroes and the other one is Unconventional Options. Because, you know, this is where you actually get to see what various optometrists are doing. And especially this series, which is, you know, unconventional career options in the domain of optometry. It kind of widens your horizons. मतलब इनको देख के पता चलता है कि optometry में क्या है. So these guys are really paving a path for all of us. And I really, you know, hats off to you guys for taking these different paths and showing us what you guys are doing. And, you know, youngsters who are watching this particular session, they might get inspired, and you never know, there might be a few following your paths very soon. So guys, once again, welcome from my side as well. I've had the pleasure of working with Jissa for a few years at Bharati Vidyapit. Had the pleasure of seeing Chandrasekhar in his early years when he had just joined the public health sector. And as a young and very enthusiastic intern as well as young graduate I've seen, and now he looks so mature and a little serious as well. I'm a little worried about Chandrasekhar, but I think as we go along, we'll see the real Chandrasekhar very soon. And Asit Kumar, I've been seeing his posts and comments on various optometry groups, very knowledgeable. He's fond of sharing knowledge and information. This is what I've seen. Unfortunately, haven't really met Asit and spent some time over a cup of coffee. So maybe that's the next plan, Asit, when I'm in Mumbai or when you are in Pune, we'll do that.
Surely.
Sounds good?
Yes, yes.
Good. So now, guys, now that we have, you know, just set the tone, I want to start with a very, very open question to all of you. And maybe Jissa being the only lady in this particular panel, maybe you can start this one. And just for the benefit of all the attendees, if you can tell us a little bit about your organization and your current profile. So I think that will help us understand what you're doing.
Sure. Can I say a big thank you to OCI for inviting me to this session? I've followed the series on Facebook before, and it's an absolute pleasure to join the conversation. And thank you, sir, for the warm introduction. To begin with, IAPB, the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, is an eye health body that brings together a network of members and membership bodies. The aim is to work towards a world where no one is needlessly visually impaired. Everyone has the best possible access to care, and even those with vision loss can achieve their full potential. And we all who are very, very passionate about eye health, we know that it definitely needs a position, and it has to have that global political health and developmental priority it needs and deserves. So that's very much where IAPG works towards too.
Right.
And we make sure to advocate to raise the profile of eye health within, not just within members or within organizations, but at the international institutions like WHO and United Nations. You would have heard about the latest adoption of the UN resolution, the Vision for Everyone, which is like the first ever in history on eye health. And then I work as knowledge manager at IAPP. So more about it, maybe I can add later.
Very good. So knowledge manager, a lot to do with knowledge.
Yes,
too many
absolutely.
knowledgeable people in this particular panel. Getting a little worried now. Thank God that Lakshmi is on mute. Otherwise, just too much of knowledge, overdose of knowledge will happen here. Chandrasekhar, what do you think? Something about your organization and about your current profile?
Yeah, sure, sir. First of all, I would like to thank OCI for the wonderful opportunity to present here in this platform. And also thank you, sir, for the wonderful introduction which you have given. So talking about my organization, so Sightsavers is an international not-for-profit organization which is working in more than 30 countries. So we work with various partners, especially the eye care partners and also different stakeholders. And in India, we are especially working on 4 themes. So one is called as the Urban Eye Health and the National Truckers Program. And we also work on the disability part. And coming to myself, I am working as a zonal coordinator for South India, predominantly looking after the Rahi Truckers Program, which is exclusive, a community program for truck drivers. So
Okay.
I take care of the southern part. I work with various eye hospitals in South India. So I take care of the implementation part, partnership development. Apart from that, I also works on the clinical aspects and training the partners on the clinical part.
So
that's
when you're saying truck drivers, is it about the management of their vision?
Yes, sir. So the overall program is called as truck drivers. However, we are screening a lot of drivers and also the transport department people and all. So it involves wide varieties of crowd. So the program is called as a National Truckers Program.
Cool. So I'll come back to you, Chandrasekhar, in a while.
Yeah, sure.
Let's move across to Asit. Asit, something about your organization and your profile?
So first of all, thank you Optometry Council of India for inviting me for this insightful discussion today. I have seen previous unconventional careers in optometry series. So these are like very helpful to get information about the optometrists working in different sectors. So I am from Mission for Vision. So Mission for Vision is a non-profit organization working since the year 2000 for the eradication of avoidable blindness. Mission for Vision and its partners, means these eye hospitals, work in has been we are like enabling equitable and quality eye cares for everyone. So this is like irrespective of nationality, religion, socioeconomic status. And over the last 2 decades, Mission for Vision has provided eye health interventions to more than 16.5 million people, as well as eye surgeries also provided for more than 2.38 million patients. These are at no cost.
Awesome.
I know myself, I am working as a program officer at Mission for Vision. So majorly I'm looking after the Vision Center project. So we called it as Mission Jodh. So I'm managing 21 vision centers, and as well as we have other projects also. So as optometrists providing technical inputs in the different projects. As well as these vision centers are manned by optometrists and as well as health workers. So looking after the clinical work, then giving some trainings with like by myself or even with my seniors.
Okay. So your technical knowledge is getting utilized as well, apart from your, other skill sets. Okay, good. So maybe I can start with Asit and then come to Chandrasekhar. This is a question about whatever profile you have currently. So what are the, areas that you really enjoy in your job profile, and where do you feel, यार ये मुझे थोड़ा सा अच्छा नहीं लग रहा इस domain में. तो
They can't say that. Their
into
bosses
some-
must be listening.
नहीं फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ होता ही है ना. I mean, I also I see, if you ask me, I enjoy 80 to 85% of what I do, but sometimes 10-15% होता है ना यार, report करना है नहीं अच्छा लग रहा, things like that. So what do you really enjoy? What are the smiles and what are the frowns in your domain?
So like in my domain, it's like it's not like a regular like in the optometrist, as we are working as an optometrist, so regularly going to opticals or clinics, and at the end of the day, it's like not a routine work. So every day is different. So like reporting to office, like working on the reports or documents, or even going out. Like I'm able to travel to different locations. Like basically, presently I'm working in focusing projects in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and then some other parts of Maharashtra. So it's like travel is a part which I like really I mean enjoying
So enjoy you enjoy that part, traveling?
Travel to different locations, meeting different people, even understanding the geographical challenge. Then what because each geography is different, so
Correct.
what if fits here may not fit here. So sometimes taking experience from here and applying other places. So
Lovely.
these are in even the like training part. So like giving my knowledge, providing whatever I learned from my studies as well as experience, and from other hospital partner providing to others.
Awesome.
But other than this, yes, like writing skills, like making reports, or like sometimes. So it slightly delays, and other than this, financial part is also there. Like as an optometrist, generally accounts is one of the subjects. Okay, that is one of the subjects.
तो उस सवाल का जवाब आपको मिल गया कि बी ऑप्टॉम में अकाउंट्स क्यों पढ़ाया था. You got the answer now.
Yes, I got the answer.
I think this is a lesson for all the graduates who are studying, undergrads who are studying, that every subject in your curriculum is put there after a lot of thought. So don't take it lightly. Don't जब आप पढ़ रहे हो, when you are actually studying the subject, don't think that इसका मुझे क्या फायदा होने वाला है. Why will I ever need this? You will need it, and that's why it's there in your curriculum.
Yeah, and it is actually really helpful, and the subjects are needed, because this gives the idea that what are the like plus and minuses. It's helpful.
Cool. Chandrasekhar, your thoughts on that?
Yes, sir.
And I'm coming to you also, Jisa, after that.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, I divide this into two parts. One is the program management, and another one is the clinical training, which I predominantly do.
Okay.
The clinical part, definitely I enjoy it because this is my core profession. So I train optometrists and directly work with various eye hospital, vision technician, and other health workers. And another part is the program management. I enjoy that, as Asi said. So finance part, which I don't say it, I feel unhappy about it, but that's something challenging. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable about that. Other than that, I enjoy my work.
But it's good that you're at least learning something new. So if you look at it that way, there's an opportunity to learn new things also, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So that's about the smile.
Right. Now I'm coming to Jisa. So what do you enjoy, Jisa? And also, what do you think, yaar, ye thoda sa nahi hota to acha hota?
I almost thought I escaped the question when you first said the question is to Chandrasekhar and Asit. Okay.
No escape.
No. Okay. I guess my role gives me enough flexibility and the depth to understand what's happening at a global, from at a larger scale, and distilling it down to the country level to an extent. And I think the biggest plus point that I have noticed so far is the conversations that I get to do with a lot of people from across the world. That's like a well of experience and information.
True.
So which is absolutely great. And I also get to have some flexibility in terms of how we share knowledge.
Right.
So whether it be just conceptualizing and developing on what needs to go into a learning program or a piece of information that has to come out, it's just that you can set your own sort of ideas forward, and then sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't, but then you still have the flexibility to
Right.
get through with that.
Right.
The not so or the frown part possibly would be to sort of balance the competing interests. So every stakeholder comes in
Right.
with certain expectations, and you just have to make sure that you take everybody along. And hopefully at the end of each project, everybody leaves with a smiling face and not just saying that it was not worthwhile. So just managing that whole process and the interest is a pressure.
Yeah, that's a very interesting challenge actually, to have different people with different interests, and at the end of the deal everyone should go happy. That's a handful.
Yeah.
Good.
No,
So
it's worthwhile, absolutely.
So mota what I understand is, if I look at it across, the domain for all three of you, flexibility of work is something you all enjoy. Then interacting with different people, whether it's geographical and different level, also different domains, optometrists and then public health workers and other stakeholders from different backgrounds. So that is quite enriching, right? It adds to your knowledge. It adds to your thought process and things like that. So that is in a way enriching your careers and your thought processes as well, right? Now,
even like reaching like we are actually able to see the satisfaction of the beneficiary. Yes, so we can even they are getting feedback, and those who are like really not privileged, so we feel happy that we are able to provide the services even to the not reachables.
Yeah, so you guys are responsible for bringing a smile to their face, which is a huge thing to do, right? Lakshmi wants to say something.
Yeah, I just want to ask Chandrasekhar and Asit, maybe Jissa in her own domain in a different way. Both of you being optometrists, you have to interact with hospital people and different partners, right? Yes. Has it ever happened that, some people say, oh, like, he's an optometrist, although you're working for the organization? Do they say, well, I don't think they'll understand their optometrists, or, this is not something for optometrists? Have you ever faced that in your career?
Yeah,
I know it's a difficult question.
No, it's a very easy question for me. I mean, for me, whenever I speak with any hospital partners and all, first of all, they feel very happy for me that an optometrist is managing is working in an NGO sector and also doing the program management. So that's the good part of it. And I very rarely listen something that they are surprised that we are managing this. So in a way, they're very happy about it, that an optometrist is doing that.
That was like music to ears, man. Really,
exactly.
I mean, that's good. I mean, they're in a way
really
expecting, they're expecting optometrists to go to the next level and do things which are, outside the so-called specific comfort zone and specific domain.
And also in terms of partnership, they're very happy that some technical person is handling the program.
That's the advantage.
So that's the biggest advantage. I see.
So you can give the technical inputs.
Yes.
To the entire
like
discussion.
Both the purposes, like our monitoring when we are doing like are these processes are going properly or not on like day-to-day activities, operational activities, and as well as the clinical part also, is it taken care or not? So both the feedbacks are received at the same time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So Jisa, anything to add, or they covered what you wanted to?
Very well covered. I think from as long as we make very logical and practical inputs to the discussion beyond, even if it comes beyond that optometry, the clinical side of it, it is always valued. And absolutely right, Chandrasekhar and Asit. I have never felt
Wonderful.
something like that across my career.
I think there's a huge advantage, because if you look at a public health person will not look at technicalities of eye health. Public health person will only look at delivery of services.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think it's a huge advantage having an optometrist there who understands both public health as well as service delivery.
As well as the service and the clinical aspect. For example, if someone says, I want you to do a screening in 2 minutes, and the optometrist says, no, it's not possible because we have to do a battery of tests. It's going to take 6 minutes, right? So that's where you add value.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing that people are seeing that value and they're actually encouraging. So this is really good to hear. Just one quick question to all of you, and this is a point blank question. This is whatever you're doing is more about public health. So I'm not sure how much your core optometry skills you're utilizing right now. So do you somewhere miss that part, the mainstream optometry, whether the seeing of patients and the optical aspect, the clinical aspect? Ye miss karte ho kya kabhi?
If I may go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Jisa.
In what I do, I guess the knowledge of optometry is pretty crucial to understand where the stories are coming from, to get the logic right and to present it in a way that people understand as well. So you need that background, and having that information is like a plus. And in terms of missing, I guess I used to enjoy teaching a lot. So that's something that is something I miss at times. But yeah, that sort of gets negated with all the other pluses.
With the pluses, right? What about you guys?
Precisely, I say no, because I directly work with the eye hospitals, and I'm also directly dealing with the clinical services.
Right.
So I'm very much feel that I'm connected to my core profession.
Lovely.
And also I'm also passionate about the teaching, and also I take care of the capacity building also. So whenever a new partners add on to our organization, so I give them the training on the clinical part.
So you're having best of both worlds, Chandrasekhar. I think there will be a list of CVs waiting for you. What about you, Asit?
In my case, it's like managing a project also, and even sometimes the training part also. So these are like parts which I'm able to cover. Yes, but seeing patients is only when I'm visiting any of the centers.
Right.
So that time it's like I'm able to see them. So that part I'm missing. But other than this, the other parts like giving trainings and then visiting, like managing projects. So that is actually negating the things which I'm like missing.
So you're more or less in touch with what you would do otherwise. Only direct seeing patients directly is something you're not doing now. So that's the only little element which is missing. Right. So I think we'll just take a quick pause here, and maybe Lakshmi and Paula, if you can just have a look at what is happening on Facebook. And guys, if you're listening to us, if you have any questions for them, or if you have any comments which are relevant to today's discussion, please feel free. We would encourage you to post your comments and questions on the Facebook. And
as of now, no questions.
So any relevant questions and comments we'll take up for the discussion.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask all three of them. I know this question, of course, what Asit and Chandrasekhar told about clinical hasn't gone to Jisa, but overall, I'm just asking. I know you get to see patients, but earlier, I'm just saying this because I used to feel that way earlier. So when you go look at these huge conferences, right, where there's so much of research happening, let's say in binocular vision, or something happening, let's say in retina, or something is happening somewhere else. You kind of sit there and even if it's for a minute, you kind of wonder, am I missing out on, am I not in touch or something like that? So because this is like, that's hardcore optometry, and seeing patients and data collection and research and all of that. Have you ever thought that, or that is, you already said that's not what I want to do for sure, so let me get into this? Jisa, you want to go first?
Yeah, I guess it's a choice. You're right, Lakshmi. It's a choice that you've made already, and I think I'm pretty much happy in the direction that I have took. Although, these are just pass by moments at that comes across and you're saying, oh no, no maybe. So yeah.
Good. No, I was just checking if there are any comments there, but there aren't. So I think we can just go ahead. Chandrasekhar, you want to add to this?
I would say because I'm doing PhD, so I am very much connected with the academics now, apart from my job role. So I never felt on such a way, and also thanks to OCI, IVI, I mean other many optometry associations and organizations, which they are continually doing lot of academic workshops and other things. So we are very, I feel that we are very connected to the profession, and some other way we are updated regularly. So that's a good part of about it, and I never felt that I'm missing out anything. And I also enjoy, I mean, actually I don't like BV and all, but definitely if something is going on, so I will attend the workshop. Same with the contact lens, or can be anything. So I'm very passionate about attending workshops and all. So whether it is of my area or not, but definitely I will attend just to get the updates of it.
Okay.
ये मतलब हरा बैकग्राउंड इसीलिए रखा है नीलेश की ये बहुत खुश है, मतलब सभी ग्रीन है, कुछ रेड ही नहीं है, रेड ऑरेंज नहीं है.
Grass is extremely green on that side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You Asit?
Like I yes, in the sometimes like I do miss about the latest happenings or the latest technologies or the like which are like developing. So if I get an opportunity, I do try and attend this webinars or the workshop from my side. But what the present work we are doing, even we are doing a research also. So that also like data collection, that analysis, which is on like daily basis or monthly basis, or from that then we take some subjects and we do it as a research work. So somewhat I am connected with the research, but instead of from the public health side, what the activities which we are doing in different projects.
Good. So I think this is quite interesting. Now I have a very interesting question, and maybe people who are listening would be thinking about this question already. That the field that you have right now, you are in right now, is very different from a routine optometrist's field. So how did you choose this particular stream? Was it by chance? Was it by choice? So just take us through your journey of making that decision. Okay, I'm getting into this and I'm going to do that. Maybe we'll start with Asit this time. Then I'll come to Jisa and then Chandrasekhar.
Like I actually I was already like during the college days. Yes, I was working. Like I had an internship at the hospital itself. So it was like more of a clinical part. Then later opticals. So before joining here with NGO, I was already working in the diabetic retinopathy screening unit. So already I was in working with different like in public health. So only thing is that project was of only for the 3 years. So it got completed. So I was looking for the another opportunity. And in this this opportunity with working with Mission Provision, so when I joined and when I started working, like really felt that yes, this is what I was like in the my beginning only, in my beginning of the career only. I had a thought that the knowledge which I am getting, I want to provide it to the all public persons who are really in need, and even reaching to the people who are not reached. So with the working with the NGO, actually I'm really able to reach to the people who are even at the remotest part and provide the services.
So if I understand correctly, you started with the diabetic retinopathy wala work, the telemedicine, etc. And that's where you got more and more interested in this field, and you wanted to do something more in this field, right? That's where you got the taste of this particular field, right? And you enjoyed it and you wanted to do more of this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Jisa, what about you? How did you get into this? And you're still here?
Yes, I'm still here. I started my career as, I mean, if I leave the clinical side behind, I should probably say that I started off as an educator. And sir, in fact, I worked with you as well.
Yeah, I
So
remember
in
those
that,
lovely days.
yes, and interesting conversations. Sorry, Chandrasekhar, I'm very passionate about binocular vision and pediatric optometry.
I know that.
Right. So when I taught or when I was teaching, I also understood that there were certain elements, if it was understood by me much earlier, like while I was teaching, it could have helped in sharing the knowledge in a much better way. And like this thought was always behind the head on, how to improve the way you teach and what else can be done and all that.
Yeah.
So, and then came an opportunity with IVI, and I knew that the profile included working towards capacity building of educators and optometrists. So that's something, came as a bonus along with the other projects that I had to do with IVI. So when I joined there, it opened a whole new world on thinking of what could support the educator and work much more holistically than just taking that academic and that unique line of work. And while working there, again, after a point, it was all very heavily India centric. And then I also wanted to see what's happening outside
India.
that spectrum as well. So I would say that every opportunity came across when I started thinking in that direction, what next?
Wow.
And then it just came in. So
I think, Jisa, the next thought that you should have in your mind is, when will Nilesh earn 50 crore rupees?
Oh, no.
And it will just happen anyway. But this is quite interesting, right? I mean, you started thinking of certain things and eventually they happened. So it all begins with a thought.
Absolutely. I think when you have that thought process in the back of your mind, you start exploring for or reading more about it, and you collect information. And it so happens that opportunities or similar things open up as well.
And the universe also conspires for you. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the monk who sold his Ferrari. So anyway.
Jissa, please think that optometry should be well recognized within the country very soon.
Abhi, Jisa, you will have a list of things that you should start thinking.
Yes, correct, exactly.
Everyone will have one. But I think Chandrasekhar was quite different, right? I mean, he is kind of an exception. Before graduating, he already knew, he was already into public health, and then he took it up. So Chandrasekhar, yours is slightly different from, these people's experience. So share
maybe I may connect with Jissa. So I would say it was by choice. So I was very passionate about community health, actually, in a broader perspective. And during second year of my optometry, I was in a big confusion. I mean, whether to pursue optometry or skip. That's where I chose that, no, I will be in optometry and choose for the community optometry. So that's where I moved in. Then later, I plan to pursue master's in public health. And thanks to IVA that I joined there, and they have given me very good platform to, use my skills there in program management and especially dealing the community program. So I was the one who was dealing with the screening programs there, and I worked in various parts of India. I almost worked in 16 states with them. So I implemented a lot of screening programs with them. And now I'm into the core public health sector. But still I'm connected with my core profession as well of optometry. So in nutshell, I call myself as a community optometrist.
Yeah, you can call. You are, and that's why you can call, right?
Yes.
Cool. अच्छा लग रहा है यार ये सब सुन के, कितने अलग experiences है ना, very different from what typically we do. And I'm equally surprised now because Runa has asked a question in the chat, which is exactly what I was about to ask you next. So Runa and I have started thinking alike. Runa, great. I'm also improving now. I'm almost coming to your level. Yay. So the question is, apart from the routine clinical expertise, what are the other skill sets that you require for this particular profile to join such organizations? So it's basically the competencies and skill sets that you need to be able to perform these roles. I'll leave it open to you. Anyone of you can go first.
Shall I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I would start with the public health policies and knowledge about the program planning and implementation, and also knowledge about the monitoring and evaluation, and especially understanding the needs of the community. I consider it as the biggest, competency.
Mhm.
And also the key things are partnership, collaboration, and advocacy. They are the main pillars.
Okay.
So that's what I feel from my end.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Chandrasekhar.
Sure.
Let's hear from others also. What do you think are the competencies required to be able to deliver this job?
I think obviously project management skills is always a plus, starting from planning, understanding your stakeholders, then working along with them, uh, taking them in that journey, and all that, problem solving, troubleshooting, all that sort of stuff comes in. But along with that is the eye for detail. You cannot miss out
Okay.
on that smaller elements, which
Right.
is very much needed.
Yeah.
And at the same time, to not losing sight of the overall picture. So you need to be a details person, but at the same time, keep a view on the overall aim and objective.
So
and
the
that,
big picture
that sort
also,
of
you have
stuff.
to look at the big
Yes.
picture at the same time. Don't miss the details.
Yes. And I think above all that comes your openness. So you need to be really, really flexible and open to new ideas, new
Yeah.
situations. Yeah, I guess that's what I will add to what Chandrasekhar said.
Awesome. Asit, anything to add?
Chandrasekhar and Jisa has already covered these points, because this like program management.
Asit, you can say all of the above.
Yes. Yeah, monitoring, evaluation,
Yeah,
all
but
this part, and even
Yeah.
when we are working, also we need to undergo some programs also we have to attend and understand even more in depth. Like I had a program manager course at Arvinda Hospital's Lyco Institute. So even some online courses we have to go, like at the so London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicines, they have online courses. So these improves our knowledges.
Okay.
So parallelly, we have to keep gaining more knowledge.
So I would say openness, first of all, flexibility, adaptability, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you need good communication, teamwork and communication. That's a given.
Obviously.
And I would just like to add one word from my side, just to sound profound: empathy. Empathy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
I completely agree.
You need to have empathy because you are in a role which is for public. So if you don't
Yeah.
have empathy, it's not going to work. So I think that is एक अच्छा word भी है और and very relevant here, right?
I think I would like to add, if that's okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
about being creative as well. And not just from a developmental side of it, but also from a solutions perspective. You need to come up with very, very creative solutions.
Unique and
Yes.
different solutions. Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
Asit kind of brought it up when he initially said, right, that every geography is different.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. So I think, you get to learn things, and the solutions that you applied somewhere else may not work, in some other. So you have to create new solutions. Or sometimes it might, be cut and paste sometimes as well. So I really like that comment, Asit, where you said, because India being India is very, very diverse. So what applies in Uttar Pradesh may not apply in Gujarat and vice versa. So I think that way, definitely, I think you have to be more creative in coming up with different solutions for different
customized, tailor-made solutions here, right? So do you need any professional experience here, or a youngster can also get into this? A youngster means a fresher.
Experience is required.
Yeah.
Yes.
So typically you would suppose if you were to hire someone in public health sector, would you prefer an experienced person or a fresher from optometry? That's a question.
At what level are you indicating, sir?
Yeah, that's also important. At what level? But someone who's managing a program, you would need experience, right? You can't have a fresher.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think so.
You need some experience.
Minimal experience, yes.
Right. So another question, because that is what you said, brings me to the next question, which is, now initially you were just optometrist, you were not public health optometrist. So how did you acquire the skill sets and the competencies that you just explained? How did you do that?
Well, it was, I would say it was learning on the way. on the road. Quite a lot
On
of
the job learning. Yeah.
yeah, quite a lot of it came like that, and quite a lot would be on understanding that you need to go that extra mile. So when I started writing or conceptualizing more on from a project side, I understood that I might need a little bit more support in terms of how you communicate. So that's when I did the course on writing in sciences.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me a lot. And then when the project management element came in, but you can have all the theories in a generic perspective, but then you need something very very eye health sorted as well. So then again, another course really helped. So I think based on what you're doing at that point of time, if you think there is something additional that you need, go for it, get something done to fill that gap. And keeping that open mind to imbibe those experience and learning from others will always help. So yeah, it's a mix.
What about the two gentlemen? How did you acquire the skill set and the competencies required for this job?
So I acquired from, we had a course in optometry, 4th year, community optometry. And also 5th year, I have done project on, again, chose the topic on community optometry. Then later I did masters in public health.
So
Apart from that,
he wanted to do this only. So he's actually a very unique case. He's an exception rather than a rule. But okay, I would want to listen to this as well.
And very interesting because you asked
case study hai. Ye alag hi case study hai.
Yeah, optometry students, public health. They say public health. That's what they'll say. So this guy is unique.
Thanks to Shamanna. So he was my guru. So I also got a lot of motivation from him. And apart from this core competency, as Jissa said, a lot of things I gained from experience. So where I work, what I'm doing, and also what Asit has said. I mean, on daily basis, we face new challenges.
True.
I mean, we work on a different fields, and a lot of our projects are implemented through funds generated from corporate. So their demands will be different. So, and as per that, our implementation process also changes. So as per that, I mean, we keep on learning. So that's how, and apart from that, I'm also passionate about doing a lot of online courses, learn things. So I think that's the way.
Asit, anything to add? Asit is frozen, it seems. We'll give him a couple of seconds to defreeze. Meanwhile, there's an interesting comment by Hamza. Hamza kya bol raha hai? The will and heart to serve community is what I feel must be present as well with what the speakers have said. Hamza, this is exactly what I wanted to say, but I just used, a nice word, empathy. But this is what I actually meant. Yeah. So of course, unless you are, you feel for the society, you feel for public, you will not be able to sustain in this role for a longer time. You might do it for some time, but you can't sustain it for a longer time, right? So I agree with you, Hamza, and I think we all agree with you on this one. So Asit will take a while. अरे हम अपने in-house public health person को क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Paula? पर्दे के पीछे से पर्दे के सामने आ जाइए. We would like to hear your views also on this one. I mean, how did you get into this, and how did you acquire the skills that you needed, etc.
मैं वीडियो बंद कर दूंगी.
See, all of us are like lesser mortals, right? We are not like Lakshmi, who's born with all the talent and expertise. We have to learn, right?
Everybody learns.
No, so sir, the first thing was like वो बोलते हैं ना कि you cannot choose your parents and you cannot choose who is going to be your boss. But मेरे लिए it was like, of course I was in I was in retail. So the first exposure what we got from college, क्योंकि we were the first batch, उतना पता नहीं था. So we got the exposure of being into a retail. So I was happy with doing whatever I was doing. But then Mumbai, when we were there, that time I got an opportunity. The first thing strike me is I'm going to work with Prema Chande. So it is like, so there are few people in this field, jiske, saath you really want to, connect, you want to speak with them. And we have seen you people as our, it's like heroes. So that was like, oh, I'm going, getting to choose my boss. So, and this exact thing, same thing happened when I shifted to Bangalore, that I'm getting, and I still remember you only gave me a call that, Paula, there's an opportunity where, will you work with Lakshmi? So I was like, Lakshmi ma'am के साथ काम करने मिलेगा. So I was like कि क्या काम है वो मैं बाद में देखती हूँ, but पहले जाके मिलती हूँ मैं मैम से. And
so जिंदगी में कुछ तो अच्छी चीजें मैंने भी की है.
yes. So I kind of proudly say that yes, कभी-कभी boss choice करने का भी मौका मिल जाता है हम लोगों को, to with whom you want to work. So that is one. And yes, Lotus gave me an opportunity to be an educator, to teach, where I kind of found that yes, I always loved to talk, to explain things that I had, but in a proper way, where I still have students who kind of say that yes, I used to teach good. In fact, Prema ma'am also has said that is like an achievement. And from there, I kind of got this passion of talking on various aspects. Yes, optometry. Now I only talk of optometry, which OCI has given me. So joining OCI was, yes, a turning point, because this is a platform. Yes, we are a self-regulatory body, but then there's so many things we do, and the core thing is like anywhere I represent, I always represent what I studied, my core, that is optometry. So इससे ज्यादा और कुछ कोई optometrist I don't think कि मांग सकता है. कहीं भी कोई भी forum में आप जाओ, you talk about your profession. So that is what OCI has given. And yes, I'm also now slowly learning about handling projects, because we are doing small projects. So learning project management, yes, dealing with a lot of people, advocacy. So these are things which I am still learning. And yes, this also kind of motivated me to join social work. I also completed my master's in social work to know more about working in communities, dealing with different communities, philanthropy. So I'm specializing in philanthropy, and so this was a turning point where I got interested in studying something else. Awesome. And I would also maybe in future like to do some course on CSR, corporate social responsibility. So these are things which I'm slowly developing. But then what I like of this job is I get to speak about my profession, and that is the best thing.
Awesome, yeah, good story. And this is the first time I came to know that there is a specialization in philanthropy. I never knew that. So thanks for giving that piece of knowledge to us. What I understand from your story is passion is important, right? You were passionate about optometry. You were passionate about talking about optometry and teaching. Then you were sure about working with certain people, which helped you. And then you just started doing it. You enjoyed doing that regularly. And in that process, you also learned the skills that you needed in this particular profile, and you're continuing to do that. So I think that is a great learning for all of the youngsters, that sometimes just by being passionate and just by being dedicated, you will find your path. So there are different ways you find your paths, right? Some people are very thoughtful. They think of 10 years ahead, and they know that that's what they want to do, and they plan from the first year. Someone who's like Chandrasekhar, in the second and third year he knew he is going into public health. And there are some people like Paula who are passionate about certain things, and the passion actually paves a path for them. So both are correct. There is nothing right or wrong here. Understand what works well for you, and accordingly you can choose your paths. Cool, man. This is
I think also, Nilesh, like all of them learn on the job a lot.
Yeah, of course.
A lot.
Of course, everyone.
Similar to you and me, if you take initial IACL years of us and now, there's so much of change. Like we've learned how to, if a report comes, how to critically look at the report and how it's viewed, how it should be presented. So I guess there's so much you learn on the job itself, through the years, that you just change. If you go back and look at maybe something that you did 10 years ago, you'll have your own views of that now, I'm sure.
So what you need to have is, the spark to learn. If you have
Yes.
that, you're going to learn everything, right? But if you feel that mujhe sab aata hai, or you're just too lethargic to learn anything new, that's a problem. Not knowing is not a problem, but not wanting to learn is a problem.
Yeah.
Wow, one liner ho gaya. Anyway, so I'm coming to the last, few minutes, and one interesting question, and it's a little bit, futuristic. So I think Jisa has been quiet for some time, so I'm going to give it to Jisa first. And Jisa is looking also, so कि मुझे बताओ, मैं बोलूंगी. ठीक है Jisa, आप बोलो. So my question to you is, in this particular domain, in next few years, 2 to 5 years, what do you think are the opportunities, and where do you think, there are a bit of threats, some threats in this particular field?
Well, sharing from a knowledge management perspective, the world has changed in the last 2 years, how we approach continuous education programs, how do we approach sharing information. Everything has changed so much. So that itself presents I would say, a new page altogether, a blank page altogether. You can design and think of several ways to implement what you want to do. It's like an open canvas at the moment. So that itself brings a lot of opportunities together. It's not just about working with 2 or 3 people, having the limitation of setting up a face-to-face meeting, or there's so many things that are underwritten or under the carpet right now. Yeah, and it also paves way for doing things differently, and executing things differently. So that is probably what I would say as an opportunity. So it's about bringing your creativity to the maximum boost, and then just boom, you go. In terms of threats, I think the same things. You will have to see some failures on the road. Yeah. I'm sure. When you try to think of new directions, obviously that comes in. I did not see a threat as such. It's all about the journey, and I would leave it there.
Nice way to look at it. What about you, Asit? You were frozen for some time, so I'm going to give you next opportunity.
Yes. So if we see in the public health, like there are private practitioners are there, private services are there. But even there are like a lot of communities and even the infrastructure, which is presently there, still more of development is required. So as an optometrist, we have a good opportunity to work with the NGOs, because like the project which I'm managing is a vision centers. So as per the present requirement, at least there should be a requirement of 20,000 vision centers at primary level. And there are very still a few vision centers are there at the primary care level. So there is a scope of even increasing more and more of this vision centers at the primary, like in the rural, semi-urban areas. So more of optometrists are required, and even this, as these numbers increases, more of a people managing these
programs.
Primary setups programs are required. So there are opportunities, and yes, there is a growth also is there. Threats, as like Jisa says, yes, we get a challenges or during that. But one thing is that the challenges or some failures, we have to learn from them, and we have to develop our path.
So it seems the future is more positive, not too many threats. You guys are open to the challenges that will come your way, and you will be prepared. Chandrasekhar will have his own view.
So just to add on to what Jissa and Asis said, I completely agree with them. Thanks to COVID, that I see a lot of demand for public professionals. So lot of consulting health firms are coming, lot of global health companies are coming up. And also in India, a lot of avenues are opening for healthcare professionals. So in terms of opportunity, that's what I see. And when we talk about threats, I take it as more individual level, because we are technical people. So it's more about sustainability. So how we are competing with the present market. So it's all about the competition. If you are able to, meet the society needs and what the organization looking for, then definitely you will retain. If not, then it will be going to be very challenging.
Okay.
So,
I have
Can I
a,
just add
ask.
something?
yeah, sure, Jisa. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that this is probably the time wherein a lot of conversations are focused on eye health. I have not seen such focus on eye health, and both not just in the knowledge or education side, but also in the advocacy side. This is probably the decade where we are looking at a lot of initiatives coming up, and a change in the approach, not just thinking within the sector, but also beyond the sector. So it's more about understanding what comes as a positive and what comes as opportunities out of it. So
yeah, Lakshmi.
I just have a funny question. It's just that, have you ever done something, totally messed up and then you're like, oh my God, like either it was like through oversight or you just didn't pay attention to that. I don't want you to get into the details, but I'm just saying that, and has it basically given you an opportunity to learn in terms of, okay, this is something I didn't pay attention to, and this is something which I have to focus on in the future. Okay, I'll tell you an incident, okay? Then maybe it'll help. Like once I sent an email copied to somebody whom it was not supposed to go, because, in emails, when you just type, you just assume that name is gone, right? So, and then then it was, Professor Brian who caught it, okay? This is ages ago. And he just called me and he said, Lakshmi, did you even realize whom you sent this to? Why did you send it to this person? Then after that, I make it a point, to, of course, it was a blunder.
Double check the email IDs.
Yeah, basically. And not even that, even like when you're, doing your reports, the way it looks, the presentation and all of that, I guess all these just you kind of get it by making a few mistakes and stuff like that. So I'm just asking, so was there something that you said, oh shit, why the hell did I do it? And then after that you kind of learned from that mistake?
I would say almost every day it happens, isn't it? So
we have to send reports or any for like verification. Corrections do come.
Okay.
But like
good.
as your
so
email
it is getting
experience-
proofread.
Yes,
It gets
but
proofread.
as you ma'am said, the email experience, yes. Double check is always required.
I think every one of us would have done that at
Would
some
have
point
done
of time.
that,
Sent
yeah.
sent a mail to wrong person, or sent mails without attachment.
Or yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Thankfully.
It's a common mistake. Yeah. Anyway, Paula, you were saying something, or you just
Yes.
wanted to agree that
Almost every day.
you've also made mistakes? Okay, cool. So I think we are all human beings, and it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from the mistakes, and those mistakes are not really costly. then I think it's okay that we learn from them. So I think that's about it, Lakshmi. I think we are coming to the close of this, and I think it was really very interesting to hear from these guys, different views. I mean, though all of them are in public health in a way, but all three of them have different views because they are working in different organizations with slightly different profiles, and even the way they joined the organizations is also different.
Very
Like
different.
Chandrasekhar always knew that he wanted to do this, while Asit realized a little later when he was doing optometry and teleophthalmology, and Jisa during her teaching, she probably thought of, there is another way and there is something else I want to do, one step ahead of what I'm doing right now. So different stories, but equally interesting, different personalities, again, equally interesting and equally lively. So I had a great time in interacting with you guys.
Yeah.
And I just feel so good that, these youngsters are doing so well in different domains within
Absolutely.
hardcore optometry, as well as, profiles which are slightly off track, or I would say unconventional careers, right? So it's amazing to see these guys. So guys, keep it up and keep inspiring all the youngsters who are probably listening to you right now. I'm sure
And
some of them might
also-
actually come back to you for advice. So I just have one advice for you. If any youngster comes to you, just be nice to them and try your best to give whatever information to them, because you may be their hero right now.
Yeah,
So just
exactly.
put that much for them and for the profession. That's about it, guys.
Absolutely. And the three of them, the uniqueness is that they get an opportunity. All are not just Indian organization. They're all international
organization. Yeah.
All three of them. And just imagine, you're on a platform where you're interacting, and then, the way outsiders look at, our country and optometry in our country. I think all three of you are taking it to a different level. And that gives me immense happiness. So congratulations to keep the optometry flag flying very, very high.
Globally. So
yeah, globally, absolutely. It's so what to say, I don't know, I can't find the kind of word. Heartening, absolutely heartening to see that these people are doing so well in your own capacity. So you might not even what to say, as you're working your day-to-day routine, it might not even strike you like this, that you're setting a mark for the country of optometry, because others are looking at you within the organization. So congratulations to all three of you.
And I just want to add one more point here, Lakshmi, before we close. Every time you are taunting me, where are the boys, where are the men? See, today we have majority in this panel. So finally I am seeing the boys and men. Finally I am seeing, and that makes me
but
happier.
Now it's only 50-50, Nilesh. You still haven't crossed the 50 mark.
Yeah, I'm talking about the panelists.
Good to see you guys. This job is demanding in the public health. We have to travel. We have to go to different places.
नहीं, कुछ मत बोल, मुझे एक बार सिर्फ chance मिला आज बोलने का. Let me say that. Because every time I'm quiet, because there are 5 women and 1 or 2 men. So we are getting beaten left, right, center. So आज मैं बोलूँगा. Anyway, guys, had a wonderful time. All the very best, and stay in touch, stay connected, and good luck.
Good luck, everybody, and thank you
so
for
much.
spending your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, on a Saturday with us. So thank you. So I know you all are busy people, especially Jissa, who's a mother as well. So thank you for giving your time and your knowledge and sharing that as well.
Thank you. I love this conversation.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy to join this conversation.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.